Right now in our society, community in every sense of the word is dying, slowly, quietly, at the hands of what I like to call toxic individualism. Political division, inequality, callousness towards the needy, loneliness, you name the problem. They're not isolated, they're symptoms. Symptoms of a deeper imbalance between the I and the we, between self-interest and collective responsibility. In our current society, we criticize vulnerable people struggling to survive while praising billionaires who buy yachts after their latest tax breaks. We've allowed the idealization of wealth overshadow empathy and communal spirit. This dogmatic pursuit of profit has distorted our understanding of abundance, blinding us to the people, resources, and opportunities that surround us to the point where all we care about is our fiduciary responsibility to the shareholder. Let me be clear. This societal imbalance is not new to the human experience. In fact, it's as old as civilization itself. Throughout my time at St. Mary's, I find myself drawn not just to modern thought, but to ancient wisdom. Wisdom that still speaks, even if we learn to stop listening. While not all of us may find solace in biblical readings, I find it fascinating to discover the range of texts that seem to be addressing our current societal situation. So I'd like to share a couple with the hope of sounding not too preachy, but rather as a gentle reminder on why we must sustain our community. In the Bible, Deuteronomy 24 makes it clear that we must not deprive the orphan, the widow, or the foreigner of justice. Why, you may ask? Well, because all the Israelites were once slaves and foreigners in Egypt. And now that they've come into abundance, they must not forget that memory. Even the New Testament, particularly Matthew 7:2, makes the same argument in different terms. The measure you give will be the measure you get. It's a reminder that our treatment of others will shape the society we all ultimately have to live in. It's not a mystical teaching, but a practical truth. If we abandon our neighbors, we will soon find ourselves abandoned too. That's why it's not enough to say the right things, we have to live them. James 2:18 puts it best. Faith without action is dead. We must be committed to action, not just hollow words, because compassion without commitment, it's empty. Solidarity without structure is a wish, not a reality. So whether you believe in their divine origin or not, these ancient testimonials must be taken into account. Because at the very least, these texts are attempts by ancient peoples to warn us not to make the same mistakes they made. Texts that function as counter-narratives against the dehumanizing arguments that empires often use to justify the subjugation of the weak. My fellow graduates, don't forget your experiences here at SMC. Carry forward the same spirit of curiosity and compassion that brought us together on this campus. Use what you've learned here to the fullest, not just the facts and formulas, but the empathy for your peers and the courage to speak your mind in the face of something you believe is fundamentally wrong. And most of all, promise me this one simple thing. Promise me you will stay connected with one another. Seriously. Promise me you'll continue to foster the community you work so hard to create here. Promise me you'll hold one another accountable while maintaining grace and forgiveness. Promise me you'll remember who was there for you when you failed your final or when your world seemed like it was falling apart because your boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with you. Promise me you'll remember these words from George Washington Carver. Resolve to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the wrong. Because at some point in life, you will have been all of these. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you.